Here's a question. How do you know if content is working? It's a good question to ask yourself. If you are tasked with creating content, or if you are tasked with managing a content team, you need to know what the metrics of success are for various types of content. Spoiler alert, they're not the same for every type of content. The way that you measure success is very important because you're going to set it against your goals. You're going to have a goal for how each type of content that you create performs, and then you're going to want to measure the performance of that content against those goals. You do that by setting things like KPIs, but what do you set KPIs for? I'm going to walk you through 4 different types of content and what the measurements of success are for those different types of content so that you can start to think through how you are going to put mechanisms into place to gather the right data and then to use that data to reinform your content strategy every month. Let's dive in. Okay. So basically what we did is we went through and created a visualization of this, and there is one mistake on it, which is good because it'll call our attention to it. So first, I want to make sure that you understand there are different goals for different types of content. Not every piece of content that you create in your marketing funnel is going to result in a sale, and it's not even all meant to. There is absolutely top of funnel content, and spoiler alert, did I already say spoiler alert? Gosh, I hope I didn't say that twice because that's very annoying, but okay. There are 3 types of content that I'm going to talk about today are top of funnel, and one is mid funnel. Okay, a lot of marketing happens at the top of the funnel because the bottom of the funnel is when we transfer them over to sales. Okay, so most of our job is just getting them through that journey in a thoughtful way. So as you have set your funnel, if you are going through this type of content, here is how you measure success. First, SEO blogging. The goal of SEO blogging is brand awareness and site visits. SEO blogging is top of funnel. No matter how fancy you get about it, it's really about getting more qualified leads to visit your website. Okay, this is the one that there's actually an error on because this is the same as email marketing, but it's not meant to be. So SEO blogging is search engine optimized blog content, obviously, and the metrics for success for SEO blog content are a couple. Okay, you're going to measure how many clicks it drove to your website. You're going to measure how many key phrases it helps your website rank for. Okay, so if you're using a system like HubSpot, WordPress probably has some plugins for it, things like that, you're going to monitor how each URL, so how each blog, how each website page performs against those kinds of things, right? Was it an entry point for the website? Is it actually driving clicks? How long were people on it? Okay, so you're going to measure that. You're going to measure CTR, click-through rate. Did they go from that page to another page? And you can map that obviously very specifically. And then perhaps most importantly, from a key phrase strategy perspective, you're going to be paying attention to which pieces are getting you ranked, okay? Which ones are getting you on the map, which ones are moving you up in the SERP, okay? And all of those different things. SEO blog data is very multidimensional, and I have talked a ton about SEO. You can go look at a lot of my other videos, subscribe to my channel, you'll get more SEO content than you could ever hope for. But basically you want to make sure that you've got those 4 to 6 kind of key factors, key performance indicators that you're looking at as you determine whether SEO blogging works. What you don't want to do is get into a game with your executive team that SEO blog should drive sales. That's just very unlikely, okay? Because you are answering questions people are asking. So unless it's like emergency plumber near me, which might have a high conversion rate, the vast majority of SEO blogging is about brand building and site awareness. So you want to keep that in mind. And then you also want to keep in mind, as you look at all these metrics, you need the mix. You need the mix of these 4 types of content to be able to achieve what you probably want to achieve in terms of growing a business. So SEO blogging is great. It is one part of a robust content strategy, and that's how you measure its success. Next, let's look at social media posts. So social media posts are also about brand awareness, and they're about engagement as well. On social media, great social media builds community. It builds engagement. It builds interest. It helps people feel like they're part of something and they're involved in something and all of that. So great social media posts on any platform should be measured by impressions, reach, and engagement. They sit at the top of the funnel. A lot of people can find you that way. It's a discovery mechanism. And you need to be measuring impressions, which is how many people saw it, reach, how many accounts it reached, okay? And then engagement, your likes, your shares, all of that. You will get more nuanced depending on the platform and depending on the type of content that you're putting out and the type of results that you want. So if you've got an Instagram store, obviously you're going to have a different KPI that you've set because there is that unique dynamic kind of with your account. But at the very broad level, at the 30,000 foot level, you will always be measuring impressions, reach, and engagement for social media content, okay? Top of funnel also. So let's go to the mid-funnel, which is the one mid-funnel piece that we have on here, which is ebooks and white papers. So this is longer form, in-depth content. And the way that you're going to measure this, and where it sits as mid-funnel, which is great, the way that you're going to measure ebooks, white papers, sell sheets, downloads, gated webinars, all the kind of longer form, rich content, so more value add content, is first of all, how many people it reached. So if it's on a landing page, how many site visits, how many URL visits you had to that landing page. And then obviously you're going to have downloads. So how many people actually downloaded it? Because the goal of mid-funnel content is to acquire email addresses. You want a data exchange. That's what takes them from being just kind of vaguely interested in your brand and, engaging with you on social or reading your blogs to a place of more seriousness where they've actually traded you some kind of information so that you can then begin to go deeper in the conversation about whether or not they want to become a part of your brand, a part of your community, they want to buy from you, all that. So that's definitely meant to kind of push them further down. And the final one is email marketing. And I'm using it last because candidly, email marketing has several different purposes and can be used in several different ways. The way that you set metrics around your newsletter is different than the way you set metrics around your sales emails is different than the way you set metrics around your thought leadership, right? So you're going to have some variety here, but at the very, very big picture level, you're going to be having the goal always that emails are being used to drive action to the sales function. Ideally, they could go through this. They could see a blog, they could see a social media post, then they go download something, they trade their email address, okay? And then they're marketed to. Now, because outbound marketing emails are in here, I'm talking, there's a caveat with like top of funnel. So an outbound marketing email, a cold email is very top of funnel, okay? But if somebody has downloaded an ebook and they're getting follow-up sequence, that is more mid-funnel, okay? Either way, you're gonna be measuring delivery rate. So that's just hygiene, health, making sure it's in good shape. Open rate, click-through rate. Ideally, your emails contain some kind of call to action that is encouraging somebody to do something, right? To go further in the process. So that is basically the 4 big types of content that you're going to use in any content strategy, and there are more, but those are the kind of the big ones, and how you measure success. When you go to set goals and KPIs, you want to make sure that whatever platforms you're using and then whatever processes you're using are closely aligned to something that can pull data. So you don't want to be spontaneously posting directly natively to a platform if you're aggregating all of your data in your HubSpot social media scheduler, because then that data is like out there, okay, and not in the system. So part of this is getting clean with all of your data sets and data organization and data monitoring. Part of it is building reports to make sure that you've got a customized like rinse and repeat and apples to apples way of looking at data every month. So you're kind of comparing the same metrics every single time. And we have, definitely have like reports that we've set that are like templated that we will repeat over and over again because we know this is the important stuff to look at. And then you want to make sure that you're doing something about it. So as you look at this data, if you say like, man, our open rates are tragic on emails. Okay, experiment with your subject lines, right? Do an A/B test. Man, our SEO blogs are great and rich and meaningful, but they're not driving any traffic to the site. Okay, well, maybe do a little bit more key phrase research and make sure that you're picking key phrases that actually have some traffic volume every month, things like that. So the feedback that you get when you start monitoring and measuring this kind of data is going to reinform your strategy in a really rich and relevant way. Subscribe to my channel. I hope that you can be a wonderful content strategist. I have a whole video about how to be a content strategist and how to put a content strategy together, so that might be a good one to look at next. You can go subscribe on our blog. We have 7 blogs, overkill, yes, and you can get embedded into the Hire a Writer community and hear from all of my wonderful writers and analysts and experts who work with me, and I wish you all the best.